In today's video, I'm going to talk through the top 10 mistakes I made when it came to the Tracy Anderson method. This applies to both Metamorphosis and Tracy Online Studio. Some of these are subtle, some of these seem obvious, but nonetheless, all things that have really impeded my progress and really maybe hindered me from seeing the results I potentially could have. So hopefully for you to be aware of these mistakes, if you're even considering doing Tracy Anderson, maybe you're a veteran of Tracy Anderson, either way, I hope so much that this brings you value. All right, let's get into the top 10, shall we? Now the first mistake. This is a mistake that may be an obvious one to most of you, but something that a viewer called out to me and I so appreciate it. And that is I wasn't wearing shoes during dance cardio and or muscular structure. And the reason why I wasn't wearing shoes was because I didn't think it really mattered. I was working out from my house. I just put my workout clothes on and kind of go. And because I wasn't leaving for anywhere, I didn't even think about putting sneakers on. But when I did put shoes on, it did make a difference in how my knees felt and how my joints felt. And again, this was at the recommendation of a viewer. I so very much appreciate it because this is one of those things that's so very important to protect your joints, to protect your knees, all that. Wear some good sneakers. Mistake number 2, not doing dance cardio. Now, when I first started Metamorphosis, I learned about it from Erin from BuzzFeed Style. She swore by it, and she even said that she got these extraordinary results without doing the dance cardio portion. So as I got into Metamorphosis, I thought, I probably don't need to do dance cardio either. So I didn't. And in a way, I'm glad I didn't start with it because I think doing both the muscular structure workout and dance cardio at once out the gate, that may have been a bit overwhelming. And knowing me and how I can be very much all or nothing, black and white, I could have very well thrown in the towel if I got frustrated because it is a time commitment, but also muscular structure is so very unique. It can be a little bit overwhelming at times, that in itself. So in a way, it was a mistake, but also I think it was good that I just started with muscular structure, that 30 minutes, and then over time built in dance cardio. And when I started to bring in dance cardio, it really made a dramatic difference. It made me feel like I had that runner's body that I did when I used to do running a long time ago, but it didn't require a big time commitment. It's only 30 minutes, pretty easy, and it's become somewhat enjoyable. Now, through the comments, through the discussions we've had from these videos, there's been some feedback that, dance cardio isn't for everybody, that some people have some major knee issues and the jumping is just no good. So there's been some alternatives that have been shared with me, one of them being rebounding. Now, apparently Tracy Anderson used to have this whole program around rebounding, which is basically an exercise on a small trampoline. So if you live in an apartment, you can't be doing dance cardio because your neighbors below you are going to be very upset. Rebounding may be an alternative. It's something I certainly want to look into, just to be more gentle on the joints. Other alternatives include swimming, spin, walking, all those things. The reason why I'm doing dance cardio is it's pretty convenient. I know it's only going to take 30 minutes, and I know Tracy Anderson supports it. So that was a big mistake, was not doing that cardio at all. So if you are doing Tracy Anderson method, please be sure to incorporate some type of cardio. It kind of takes on that compounding effect where just by adding a quick 30 minutes a day, over time, it really adds up and makes a difference in the results you see. A sub bullet to that not doing dance cardio mistake is when I was doing dance cardio. Now, this is something very recent. With Online Studio, Tracy Anderson shares some tips and advice after each class. And in a recent week, she shared how important it is to do dance cardio before muscular structure, and that actually supports weight loss. It supports how your skin attaches to muscles. Previously, I would just do dance cardio after muscular structure, but with that advice, I'm just gonna try it out, dance cardio first and see how that goes. But that was a kind of sub bullet too. Dance cardio is when you do it. So Tracy recommends doing it before muscular structure. Mistake number 3, this is a big one. This is one where whenever I see people saying, oh, I tried Tracy Anderson, it didn't work for me, I didn't see any results, this may be why it is. I mean, obviously there's always different factors that can play into it, but I'm always curious about this one. And that's the mistake of not being intentional with your moves. Now, 2 people can follow the same workout, but there's a difference in how they can follow it. You can flop along with dance cardio, you can kind of flop along with muscular structure. But if you're not intentional, if you're not locking, if you're not really feeling it, you may not get anything out of it. So even in dance cardio, when I'm bebopping around, like I really feel it, and that really makes a big difference. And this is something I continue to work on because there are days where I'm just not feeling it and I just kind of want to exist through the workout, but I really have to be present, I really have to be focused and really exert those motions to feel it and to get the most out of it. So a mistake I made initially was not being intentional with my moves. It's something I still struggle with. So as much as I can, I try to support myself in feeling that. Mistake number 4. Now this is something that I think most people learn over time, but if you are looking to try out Tracy Anderson at some point, maybe you're new to it, this is a really important piece, and that is previewing the workout. When I first started Metamorphosis, I wouldn't, and I would just start the workout and follow along as much as I could. And it would become frustrating and confusing because it was so hard for me to follow, and I'd have to pause and study her move. Whereas I learned over time to actually preview it the day before, kind of rehearse the moves, not follow the full workout, but kind of rehearse the move, fast forward, rehearse the next move, just so I was familiar with it so it wasn't overwhelming. Not to mention, it takes up a lot of time when you're constantly pausing and readjusting and studying it the first go around. It takes up a lot more time. Now, don't get me wrong, even when I preview the workout, I still end up doing that at times where I'm pausing it to kind of readjust, but it still does help to preview ahead of time. Now for online studio, there's special workouts where one of the coaches will actually talk through each move and gives you some tips for how to best approach it, best feel it. That's so very helpful, something that's not available in Metamorphosis, but for the online studio is incredible. Mistake number 5, not measuring myself. Now, when I started Metamorphosis, I took a before photo, but I did not measure my thighs, my waist, my arms. I didn't measure, and I really regret that because I think photos only say so much. I think so many of us are looking for like a dramatic before and after photo, but depending on where you're at in your cycle with your hormones, maybe you had a bunch of soda water or whatever, that can really throw out your progress photo. And if I would have measured myself before, I think I would have had cold, hard data to support my progress. Now, my birthday's just a few weeks away, and I'm looking at really leveling up, going to the advanced lane in online studio. And I think what I'll do is even measure myself to see if there's a difference. But if there's not, I'm not gonna sweat it because either way, I feel fantastic doing this. I'm really liking how I look, even if I'm not like dropping inches, because I don't even know that I need to. I won't let that discourage me. But for anyone looking to get into Metamorphosis or online studio, highly recommend you measure yourself. Give it some time, of course, before you compare future measurements, but that will give you cold, hard data to see if it's making a difference for you. Mistake number 6, not having a refreshed music playlist. Now, I love music. Music is really what gets me through just about every workout. And there are times where I'm listening to the same playlist all the time, so much so that I can predict which song will come up next because I have it by memory at that point. And having a refresh playlist is really important. It's a mistake I've made to actually just use the same playlist all over again all the time. And to keep the workout fresh and fun, so important to have really good music that really surprises you and gets you excited about the workout. So another mistake I made was not having a refresh playlist. Mistake number 7, not having enough space. So you'll see in the B-roll footage, and that's just the footage that plays while I'm talking, you'll see that I have a different setup from previous videos, if you're familiar with my videos, and that's because I didn't have enough space. It was really cramped. Now, not everybody has the luxury of finding a new space like I did, fortunately, but if you can, get creative. So if I didn't have this empty room to work out from, I probably would have had to move my dining room table and work out somewhere else to make it work, because it is so frustrating when you see a new move come up, you completely have to change your workout setup just to be able to complete that move with enough room. Super frustrating, big mistake I made. Mistake number 8, I credit to my friend Stephanie. Stephanie really stressed the importance of protecting your knees, not only with a soft yoga mat, but even if you have a special knee pad or extra material to protect your knees. I fortunately have something for picking weeds, which is just this really thick foam, and I use that during much of the workout now, and it has made a dramatic difference. Even though initially I didn't see that it was harming my knees, I could see that over time it potentially could. So having that extra protection makes a big difference. So thank you, Stephanie. In line with protecting your knees when you have those kind of downward movements, be mindful of your weight distribution on your knees. And in recent workouts I've been doing on the online studio, I've noticed that there's a lot of potential to really put all your weight on your knees where the move is not intended to do that. So there's these kind of push-up positions we've been doing lately, and I have to make sure that I manage my weight so that there's a majority of it on my arms, or a large portion of it at least, and so that it's not just kind of crushing my knees. So not only protect your knees with foam as much as you can, but also be mindful of the weight distribution that you have so that you're not just sinking in all your weight on your knees, because that probably isn't gonna end well. Mistake number 9, not following a consistent workout schedule. Depending on the day, I may do dance cardio in the morning, I would do muscular structure later in the day, or maybe I would do muscular structure followed by dance cardio. And by not having consistency and following the program, it made the workout more stressful and daunting, like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna fit this in? And a mistake I've made that I'm continuing to work on is having a consistency in that every day I do it at X time. That way I don't stress out about it. So I'm really working to be consistent, and this is where discipline comes in. We talked about that in the video of when you don't feel like working out and the importance of motivation versus discipline. This is when I've got to be more disciplined and making sure that I have a consistent time in the day that I'm working out. And I'm working towards doing that first thing in the morning. So I'll be sure to update you all on that, but that's been another major mistake I've made. We're already at mistake number 10, and this is one that I continue to work on, I continue to learn from, and that's been the mistake of not truly pushing myself. With Tracy Anderson, some days are so much more tough than others, especially those first few days. And this isn't so much what I'm speaking about, because that is going to be challenging, of course, because it's so new. It's a struggle every time. But there are days where I know I'm not giving it my all. I know I'm not trying my hardest, and maybe I'll stop short on a move just because I'm fatigued, just because I'm frustrated, whatever it is. And I think that's really probably prevented me from even realizing even better results, is not pushing myself as much as I can. And so it's something I continue to work on, and something I want to call out, because to see if anybody else can relate to that. Maybe you know you have a few more reps in you, but you just fall short. That's something I'll be working on. So those are the top 10 mistakes I've identified for myself when it comes to Metamorphosis and or online studio. But would be curious if you have mistakes of your own that you've realized, something I haven't mentioned, or maybe there's something that you can relate to that I did. Would love to hear from you in the comments below. And of course, as with every single video, I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for your comments. I mean, I could can't say enough how much I appreciate it. The likes, the subscribes mean so much to me, and it really keeps me going with this, and I hope it keeps you going too, because this is not an easy program. This is not a workout to be entertained through, but I feel so supported by you all, and I thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, thank you so much, and until next time.